Yes, for the.
Yeah. And is my presentation clear? Is it in full screen?
Yes, Doc.
Okay. So last Monday, we had our orientation, and we all agreed that the passing for this course is 50%. Yeah? And then we have a division of 40-60. Anyway, I will just upload the microsyllabus that I had presented last time. So in this course. So for the first topic, let's start the formal class na ha, kasi baka maging busy na naman ako. Hindi ko na naman kayo ma-meet. Kaya habang hindi pa masyadong busy ang mga tao dito sa CBM, mag-start na tayo. Okay. So for the first topic, we have the review of the female reproductive system. And this is just a little bit, yun nga, review of your reproductive physiology from last semester. Oh, 19 lang ba talaga kayo? Ha?
Nasa 40 na po ata kami, Doc.
Nasa 40 na pero 20 or 19 pa lang ang mga participants dito sa akin. Anyway, baka naghihilig pa sila. So, for the target outcomes or the learning objectives, at the end of this topic, you are expected to at least review, or recall the basic functional anatomy. When we say basic functional anatomy, it includes the anatomy and physiology itself of the organs of the female reproductive system. And of course, with the different aspects of female reproduction. So it includes also the estrous cycle. We have also the gametogenesis, particularly the oogenesis. So the picture below shows you, ano ito? Do we have Indian students here? Meron tayong Indian?
Wala pa po ata sila, Doc.
Okay. But they are enrolled already, ano? So it's Miss Sarah Sanjebi. Okay. So anyway, ano ito ulit? This the yellow one? Ha?
Sperm cell, Doc.
That is a sperm cell in the uterine tube or female reproductive tract. And if you might have noticed, this sperm cell was surrounded by different cilia or numerous cilia. And again, what is the name of the cilia present in the uterine tube or female reproductive system? We call that
Kinocilia, Doc.
kinocilia, or the Kinocilia. So the function of that kinocilia is to aid in the transportation or conveyor of the sperm cell going to the uterine tube in order to meet the egg cell for the fertilization to occur. So aside from that, the wave-like motion na kinecreate na itong mga kinocilia, sometimes ay mechanism ito ng female reproductive system to exclude yung mga pathogens kung meron man. Okay? And the picture on the right side shows you a diagram of the positioning of the female reproductive tract, no? So alam naman na ninyo dahil pinag-submit or pinagdala ko kayo ng mga specimens, and you already know the different structures of the female reproductive system. Siyempre, meron tayong paired ovary with exception to the avian species. Am I right? Tama? Ilan ba ang ovary ng avian?
Isa, Doc.
Ha?
Isa po.
Isa. Ano ang natira? Left or right?
Left, Doc.
Left. Thank you. What is left is left. Yun nga yung sabi nila. And we have also two uterine tubes or oviduct or fallopian tube or salpinx. Yun yung mga pangalan ha. And then we have also the uterine horn. Para siyang sungay, lalo na doon sa mga kambing at tupa, ang resemblance niyan ay para siyang sungay ng lalaking tupa, ram's horn. Okay? Then right after the uterine horn, trace natin, we have the uterine body here. Okay, the uterine body. And then right after the uterine body, we have the muscular part of the uterus, then we call this as the cervix. No? At nung dinisect na ninyo yan, there are several cervical folds present. Okay? Na prominente ito sa mga species ng, ano ulit? Yung prominent, yung mga cervical folds.
Swine, Doc.
We have swine. Very good. This is to accommodate the screw-like appearance ng penis ng boar. And in horse, less prominent yung mga cervical folds nila. Okay? Then right after the cervix, we have the vagina. We have the posterior and we have the anterior vagina. And some of the species of animals may deposit their semen here in the vagina. Okay? But some ay dito sa cervix, some ay lagpas ng kaunti sa cervix. So alam niyo na yung mga species ng animals na yun. And then right after the vagina, we have the vulva, or we have yung nakikita na natin sa labas. So it includes the labia, minora, majora. Then kapag binulat-lat pa ninyo yung labia, bubulaga sa inyo yung clitoris. Okay? So to proceed, we have already mentioned that the female reproductive tract basically may contain or contains pair of ovaries, the duct system. Kapag sinabi nating duct system, these are the tubes. No? Sinisimulan niyan ng ating oviduct, fallopian tube, salpinx, uterine tube. Okay. Then right afterwards, we have the uterus, the cervix, the internal vagina, and then we have the external genitalia. So ito, inulit na naman yan kanina sa first PowerPoint, first slide, but kapag ka yung mga na-isolate na at yung mga pinag-exam ninyo last semester, ganyan ang itsura nila. Okay, I do hope that this one is clear pa sa mind ninyo para kung sakali man na merong mga sakit, condition, or diseases, alam ninyo kung ano yung gagawin. Say, in dogs, kapag halimbawa ay na-flood na ito ng mga fluids, ng pus or nana, yung kanilang uterine body, ay ano kaya ang meron doon? So, pwede kayong mag-culture o pwede kayong para ma-detect kung mga bacteria ba yon or patay na mga neutrophils. So we call that, kung minsan talaga hindi maiwasan, lalo na kapag after nilang mag-heat yung condition na pyometra. And ang resort ko noon na nagpa-practice ako ng small animal, pag pyometra yan, surgical removal of the ovary, fallopian tube, uterine horn, cervix. Sa madalit sabi, I am doing ovarian hysterectomy kapag meron ng pyometra yung dog. Okay? So, ganyan. So, that's the importance of knowing the normal structures of female reproductive system. So,
Nakabukas ba?
moving on.
Nakabukas. Yan na, sa kamila.
We have also the hymen. When we say hymen, this is a connective tissue band na kung saan ay, ang sabi, kapag ka na-subject ito sa mga activities na may mga tensions or na-stretch ay nate-tear, kaya nagbi-bleed, ang sabi. So dito sa animal, ito ang itsura niyan, yung pinasukan ng tubo. So this, sorry. hirap naman ng Zoom. Nakahapon din ako, Dok. Glow.
Ito dumating ano.
Man, kahapon. Alright, so eto yon yung napasukan ng tube, na-tear yung band. So this one is the hymen. So if we try to take a look at in human or in female, eto yon tsura nun. Yung band dyan. Okay, so another thing, yan, itong band na yan. Okay, and this one ay pwede siyang i-surgically remove. So parang ang function kasi nito ay parang nandyan lang siya. Okay? Nandyan lang siya. It is just a demarcation ng junction ng inner and outer vagina. Pero pwede siyang tanggalin. Okay? And in terms of development of female individual during the embryo stage, because in embryology, we have the term sexual indifferentiation. Pag sinabi natin sexual indifferentiation, hindi pa alam kung anong magiging sex ng individual. Pwede siyang maging lalaki or pwede pa siyang maging babae. Now, depende yan kung ano yung duct na magpo-progress during the development. And na-mention ko ito na, sorry, kailangan ko ng water. Na-mention ko na we have these two ducts present.
Ba't nakaitim tayo?
Wait lang.
Ito pasok pa. Ano? Ba't siya?
Black is my favorite color. Anyway, we have two ducts present during the embryo development. So we have the Mullerian duct and then we have the, ano yun? Isa?
Yandak po.
Wolffian duct. Thank you, Miss Cruz. The Wolffian duct. Ngayon, kapag ka nag-progress ang Mullerian duct, then the individual will be female. Kasi ang Mullerian duct natin, or ng mga babae, or ng embryo, sila yung nagiging fimbria of the oviduct. Nakita niyo naman yung mga fringes around doon sa entrance ng oviduct. And then we have the oviduct itself, as well as the uterus, and we have the vagina. So that's the Mullerian duct. So in here, in the picture, sa picture dito, we have, ayan. So this is in sexual indifferentiation stage. Pwede pa siyang maging babae or pwede pa siyang maging lalaki kasi meron pang presence ng Mullerian duct here on the left. Nakikita ito, Mullerian duct. And then we have also the Wolffian duct, itong green one. So that's the Wolffian duct na kung saan ay nagiging male reproductive organs yan, mga yan. Ngayon, kapag ka nagkaroon ng sexual differentiation, ito yung sinasabi ko, na kapag ka ang nag-degenerate or natanggal or nawala ay ang Mullerian duct, itong may broken line here on the left, at ang nag-progress ay ang ating Wolffian duct. Yung sex ng itaran naman, syempre, kapag ang nag-disintegrate or nag-degenerate ay yung may mga broken lines dito sa inyong right, at ang nag-progress ay yung Mullerian duct, yung dilaw, then the individual will be a female one. Okay? Kaintindihan tayo?
Yes po daw.
Yeah. And then let's take a look with another structure present during embryo. We have the urogenital sinus. For the urogenital sinus, ito naman yung mga structures na nagiging, we have urethra, and then we have the vestibule, we have also the vagina. So mas lower part ito ng female reproductive tract. And we have also the genital tubercle. Pag sinabi nating tubercle in anatomy, ito yung mga parang prominence or yung mga nakaumbok. Then ito yung nagiging clitoris. So let's take a look with the image. Yeah. So in this part, yung right picture, etong may shade ng black here, nakikita ba? Ito yung nagiging urogenital sinus. Nasaan kaya yung di kasi pwedeng mag-annotate? Nakikita ito?
Yes
Ito,
po.
to. Visible ito?
Yes po.
Nakikita itong dinodrawing ko na pula. Ano yung pinopoint dito? Ha? Ano yung structure na pinopoint? Anyone?
Urogenital sinus, no?
Yeah, that one is the urogenital sinus. And in anatomy, if we say sinus, para lang siyang space. Okay, so ito yung nagiging urethra, which is, kung titignan natin sa adult form, butas siya. Okay, and then vestibule kasi, kapag sinabi natin vestibule, it's the entrance. Entrada, so ibig sabihin pasukan pa rin. For the genital tubercle, I have here the genital tubercle. Kita ito? Itong binilugan ko?
Yes po, Doc.
Yes,
Yeah.
Doc.
That one ay ang ating genital tubercle in the embryo stage. So ito yung nagiging clitoris for female and penis for male. Penis for male. So that's the genital tubercle. I hope na na-review kayo ng inyong anatomy or embryo subject. Okay. So another one, picture naman dito, we have the Mullerian duct and then we have the Wolffian duct. So ganito ang itsura niyan kapag zoom natin itong part na ito. Okay, so this is the Mullerian duct for the female and then Wolffian duct for the male individual. Okay. And speaking of the ovary, these are paired, of course. And the function of this is two. We have the reproductive function and then we have the endocrine function. When we say reproductive function, this one is for the production of gametes, particularly the oocytes, in the process known to be as the oogenesis. Okay, and for the endocrine function, this is the organ that produces estrogen and progesterone. Not just only estrogen and progesterone, but we have also yung ating androgen, because in our reproductive physiology or endocrinology, we already discussed that we have the estrogen first. Ito kasi yung ating yung procedure of making the androgen sa female. So we have the production of estrogen. Nakikita ito? Itong tinatype ko.
Yes, Doc.
And then it will enter the granulosa cell. Granulosa cell. And inside the granulosa cell, this estrogen will be converted into androgen, by the aromatase enzyme. So yan ang nagwo-work. Kaya nako-convert ang estrogen into male hormone. So sa statement na ang ovary ay pwede rin siyang mag-produce ng male reproductive hormones. Ano yan? Nanita? Saglit lang, class. Bakit kasi walang 1B dito? Walang 1B. Hindi pa nila na-edit ito. Okay. And then, the next description is this ovaries varies in shape. It depends on what species of animals say, for instance, if the species is swine, and then the picture on the right side shows the swine reproductive system, or the sow reproductive system. And if you might have noticed, the shape of the shape of the ovary here is para siyang may bunch of grapes. It represents a different stages of follicles present in the surface of the ovary. And similarly, this appearance of ovary is similar to a polytocous animal. When we say polytocous animal, ano ulit yun?
Marami
Ano?
pong offspring, Doc.
Yeah, very good. So these polytopous animals bear more than one offspring. Say we have the sow, we have the beaches, we have cats or queens. Okay. Whereas for the monotopous animal, these are animals that bear single offspring. Like we have large animals, we have horse, commonly we have cattle, we have bubbaline, we have giraffe. Yan yung mga yan. So, ang usual shape ng kanilang ovary ay kidney shape to almond shape. Okay, so I've mentioned this one. Bakit nagiging bunch of grapes ang mga ovaries ng polytopous animal? It's because of several follicles present. Okay, so moving on. This one is for the monotopous animal. For the monotopous, we have a typical example is equine. We have also the ewe, and then we have the cow. No? And the picture on the right side shows you the ovary of mare. Correct? Tama ba? Mare ba yan? Huh?
Yes, Doc.
Yeah, it is a kidney shape. And for the number 1, this is an opening. I-zoom ko lang para anong tawag dyan?
Ovulation
Ito.
fossa po, Doc.
We call that as the ovulation fossa kasi kahit saan mang portion ng ovary ng kabayo merong Graafian follicle, dito niya ipuputok or dito niya ilalabas yung ovulated na egg cell for the number 1. Okay? And this one is in kidney shape. And I've mentioned that for the monotopous animal, the shape of their ovary is ovoid, sometimes oval yan, to kidney shape. So, eto na siya. We have the ovulation fossa, and then we have the tertiary follicle here. And if we try to take a look at it inside, commonly kasi, ang ovary ng mga female ay we have the cortex outside, and then we have the medulla inside. But with the exception to the horse, mga bako, ng cortex nila ay nasa gitna, pero ang medulla nila ay nasa gilid. Correct? Ha? Correct ba? Tama ba ako ng pagkakaalala? Correct ba? Tama ba? Yung structure? Yes. With exception to the horse, ang kanilang cortex ay nasa gitna at ang kanilang medulla ay nasa gilid. Ayan siya. Ito ang itsura ng biniyak na ovary ng mare. And this is yung baba naman na picture, this is the typical ovary in cross-section. Being the cortex outside, na kung saan makikitaan ninyo ito ng different stages of follicle, from primordial follicle, the primary, the secondary, the tertiary, the graapian. We have the corpus hemorrhagicum, corpus luteum, corpus albicans, and scar. Ayan siya. So these are present in the cortex. For the medulla, o yung gitna, we have the presence of blood vessels and nerve. So dito, sa kabayo ay ito yung kanilang medulla, yung labas. Ang hirap kasi mag-antate dito. Ito, yung medulla niya. And then ito yung cortex. So that's the ovulation fossa. Whereas for the ordinary species of animal, or mostly, ito yung kanilang cortex. Ayan. So makikita ninyo yung different stages of follicles. And then itong gitna na natira will be the medulla, which contains blood vessels. Okay, blood vessels. And speaking of different types of follicle, we have three primary types of follicle. We have the primordial. When we say primordial, this is their parent, or pinaka magulang, or pinag-originatan ng follicle. And then right after the primordial follicle, we have the growing follicle. And then afterwards, we have the graapian follicle. And speaking of these follicles, ang primordial follicle ay fixed in number na sa mga babae. Okay? Fixed in number. So the picture on the right side shows you the schematic diagram of primordial follicle. So when we say primordial follicle, this is type of follicle that consists of single layer of granulosa cell that is in flattened shape. Flat lang siya. Tingnan natin kapag nag-zoom tayo. Ano pa ba i-zoom yan? Hindi pala pwede. Eto, nakikita na itong unang bilog na ito. Flat ba siya? Ha? For the primordial follicle? Ha?
Yes, Doc.
Yeah. And then, next into it will be the primary follicle. When we say primary follicle, this is another type of follicle that consists of single layer of follicle. However, by this time, the granulosa cells are in cuboid or cuboidal in shape. Nakikita sa inyong histo, cuboid or cuboidal ang kanilang granulosa cell. For the secondary follicle, this one is a type of follicle that consists of several layers, 6 to 9 layers of granulosa cells. And wala pa tayong ma-observe na antrum here. When we say antrum, this is the empty space inside the developing follicle that is filled with estrogen. So for the secondary follicle, wala pa. And here comes the early tertiary follicle, or do we have the preantral follicle. When we say preantral follicle kasi, ito na yung nag-start yung development ng antrum. Ito yung nakikita ninyo itong space dito sa gitna sa bandang taas. Na tinuro ay antrum. Nakikita ito?
Yes, Doc.
That's one. Maliit pa yan. Pagka naging graafian follicle na yan, halos itong buong ito ay antrum. Nandito na lang yung oocyte na maliit. Ito. Mapupush siya sa terminal pole. So ito naman ay several layers pa rin ng granulosa cells. Okay? Okay. Ayan. So, let's take a look with the diagram or the histogram. And can you just, dito from here, we could have the different stages of follicle, starting with, we have the primordial follicle. So, if you might have noticed here, nakikita ba ang primordial follicle na ito?
Yes po, Doc.
Yes, Doc.
Yes. And the description of the the granulosa cells ay flattened. Okay? So next is we have the primary follicle na ito. Nakikita? Yeah. And if you might have noticed, yung kanyang cuboidal cells or yung kanyang granulosa cells ay in cuboidal in shape. So that's the difference. And then moving on, wala na akong makita dito. Ayan. So moving on, we have here the secondary follicle. Kung makikita ninyo. Ayan. Ito siya. So this one is the secondary follicle. Can you see this one?
Yes po, Doc.
And this is composed of 6 to 9 layers of granulosa cell, but without antrum. Wala pa siyang antrum. Meron na siyang primary oocyte sa loob. Okay? And here comes the preantral stage here, or the early antrum follicle. Itong nandito yung mas maliit. And take a look with the Graapian follicle. This one. Yan. And ito na yung sinabi ko na itong space na ito na yung antrum. And look at this one. Ito yung na-release during ovulation. We have the egg cell, and then we have some sorts of granulosa cells. We have the corona radiata. Okay? So yan yung kanilang structure. And we call that as the Graapian follicle. Uy, nasa yung mouse? And then for the embryo development of ova and follicle, I have mentioned that before birth, there is a predetermined number ng mga follicle. However, ang originator or ang progenitor cells nito ay yung mga cells galing sa yolk sac. Okay, galing sa yolk sac. So in embryo, this will be the yolk sac. Ito yon. So this is the yolk sac, and yung mga red dot dyan na nakikita ninyo will be the primordial germ cells. And then with their amoeboid movement, para silang mga protozoa or amoeba, magmamigrate sila from here, pupunta sila dito sa parang buntot. Ayan. So if we try to magnify that one, ito yung itsura. Ito yung itsura niya. Dito sila. So from ito yun, 'di ba? Yung ating yolk sac, yung dito, galing yan sa yolk sac. Magmamigrate sila dito sa genital ridge. Yan. So take a look with the structure. Ito yung nagiging resemblance ng mga ovaries. Kasi nandito tayo sa portion na ito. Yan. Ito yung Itong buntot na nakikita ninyo dyan, ito yun. Klaro? Ha? There is migration of the primordial germ cells from the yolk sac going to the genital ridge. Okay. And right after the migration, few days after, we have the sexual differentiation na. Okay? So, di ba nanggaling na dito yung primordial germ cell. Ito siya. Magmamigrate sila kay genital ridge, papunta sila dito. Then magkakaroon na ng sexual differentiation. So, pagka indifferent pa rin yung gonads, or hindi pa alam kung testicle yan or ovary, ganito ang itsura niya. Yan. Dito pupunta yung inyong mga primordial follicle. Pagka sexually differentiated na sila, like this one for the male, and this one for the female, ganito ang itsura niyan. There are tubes na kapag male, ito na yung mga nagiging primitive sex cords, nagiging seminiferous tubules. Ito yon mga yon. Okay? However, kapag naman yung sa female, ayan, nako-concentrate lang sila doon sa cortex. Diyan lang sila pupunta. Kaya nga, habang kung makikita ninyo doon sa mga histogram, ay yung mga first part ng oogenesis ay nandun sila sa pinaka-surface. And then pababa ng pababa, nandun na yung ating mga secondary follicle, mga tertiary follicle. Wait lang, I'll show you the picture. Ayan, nakikita ninyo ito? Nakikita ito?
Doc, nasan?
Etong slide na to. Nakikita? Ayan, ulitin ko lang ha. Nakikita ito? Yan, may binilugan ako.
Yes,
Kita?
Doc.
Yeah. So nandun tayo sa bandang cortex niyan. Look at the stages of follicle. We have the primordial follicle, we have the primary follicle. Whereas on the deeper part of the ovary, papuntang medulla, andito yung, yan, nakikita? Secondary follicle. However, kapag naging tertiary yan, syempre lalaki, mapupush ito sa gilid and then magpo-progress doon sa surface yung tertiary follicle. Klaro?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, for the oogenesis, we have mentioned that in the female development, predetermined na yung number of oogonium nila. Okay? So during the embryo stage, we have series of mitosis na nangyayari. Okay? And then from that oogonia, kapag ka nag-mitosis yan, this will produce the primary oocyte. That is in arrest stage. Pag sinabi nating arrest stage, dun lang muna siya. Because of the different composition of the primary oocyte inside, meron tayong oocyte maturation inhibitor or the OMI dito sa loob. Kaya before ipanganak yung babae, determined na or predetermined na or alam na kung ilang number ang kanilang oogonia. Ayun lang, sige po. Apo. Thank you po. Ma'am. Sige, shake na lang namin pag nilagay. Apo, ma'am. Sige po. Okay. And then, since this is a mitosis, when we say mitosis again, this is type of cellular replication that produces diploid. So from 2N, 2N pa rin. So, primary oocyte. Then, ipinanganak ngayon ng female. After niyang maipanganak, hindi pa magkakaroon ng continuation ng oogenesis. Until such time na here comes the play of the hormones, we have the estrogen, dun na magpo-produce or magpo-proceed yung continuation ng oogenesis. So from primary oocyte, it will undergo meiosis. So in meiosis, this is a type of cell division, cell division yung term ha, that produces, anong type ng cell? Diploid. Diploid. So when we say diploid, kalahati. So from 2N, nagkaroon ng meiosis ito. Same lang sila ha. So 2N, nag-create ngayon ng first polar body and secondary oocyte na haploid. Sorry, haploid yun ah. So from diploid to haploid, kalahati. And then, after the production of secondary oocyte, ready na to meet this secondary oocyte yung sperm cell. Okay, sperm cell. So in the process known as fertilization. Then right after fertilization, here comes the completion of meiosis 2 in the oogenesis. Okay, and haploid plus haploid, we have diploid zygote. So ito na yung magiging embryo, magiging fetus, magiging kayo sa madalit sabi. Okay? Nagkakaintindihan?
Yes, Doc.
Ha? Okay. I hope this one is clear and na-review kayo doon. So moving on, we have also the oviduct. So tayo doon sa ovary. Oviduct naman, this is termed as the uterine tube, salpinx, fallopian tube. And this one is convoluted. When we say convoluted, tortuous, or kumbaga sa daan, parang zigzag. No? And this one is a conveyor. When we say conveyor, para siyang tagapagdala or daanan siya ng ovulated egg para i-meet si sperm cell. And daanan din siya ng sperm cell to meet the egg cell. That is in the opposite direction. Okay? Klaro? Nagkakaintindihan dun sa term na yon. Opposite, meaning to say here comes the egg cell and then here comes the sperm cell. They are moving in the opposite direction para mag-meet. Okay? And basically, this one, it connects the ovary to the uterus. So in here, yan, this one is the fallopian tube. And then if we try to look at the different structures, we have opening here. This is the ostium or the ostium abdominale. And then we have the first part of the oviduct, which is the ampulla. And then we have the isthmus. So sabi ng teacher ko dati sa embryo, the specific site of fertilization in female for most species of the animals is the isthmo-ampullary junction. The isthmo-ampullary junction. So here, dito nangyayari. That's the junction between the ampulla and the isthmus. So for the ostium abdominale, this is the opening of the reproductive tract into the abdomen. Kasi ito na yung inyong tinatawag na, ano ulit ito? Ha? Yung
Fimbria,
mga
Doc.
fringe light? Ano na yan?
Fimbria, Doc.
Fimbria. So that one is fimbria. That could help the infundibulum to catch the egg cell from this. Ito kasi dinisect yan ha. Baka malito kayo. Ang layo naman, Doc. Kung may i-release ang ovum dito, tapos kakatch doon. Hindi. Itong structure na ito, nandito. Okay? Claro? So moving on. That's the fimbria. Okay. Then we have the ostium. Then we have the infundibulum here. So for the fimbria, these are the fringe edges that could help the infundibulum to catch the ovum. Okay, and it forms also the ovarian bursa with the mesosalpinx. When we say mesosalpinx, this is a broad ligament that could support the ano yun? Anong structure? Fallopian tube or the salpinx. Okay, and please do take note of the species differences of the ovarian bursa. So in pig, this bursa completely wraps the ovary, whereas in mare, this wraps only the ovulation fossa. Okay, so since the structure of this fimbria is fringes, para lang siyang mga maliliit na daliri, then there will be a sweeping wave-like motion din doon sa surface ng ovary during the ovulation. Okay, so take a look with this schematic diagram of fimbria here. One. Ayan. Okay, nakabalot siya sa ovary. Or nababalutan niya ang ovary, I should say. And this one is an ovary of a mare, and please do take note of the ovarian bursa na meron tayong, asa na yung aking ovarian bursa na merong part ng, so this one, ayan ang its structure niya, nakasakop lang siya, and then we have here the fimbria. Okay. Ovarian bursa kasi it is a sac-like structure. Okay. And then we have here the mesosalpinx, or the structure or the broad ligament that supports the fallopian tube. And then right after the ovulation, dito sa ovulation fossa, nakuha ngayon ng fimbria, pumasok kay ostium abdominale, though hindi natin makikita dito sa picture, dediretso siya sa fallopian tube o uterine tube. Okay? Nagkakaintindihan?
Yes, Doc.
Okay. And I guess I should stop here. It's 8:56 already. I have my clinico-pathological conference na kailangan kong i-rest naman yung aking throat. Do you have any question? May tanong?
None, Doc.
None. So, kung wala kayong tanong, can you just open the camera and we have attendance? Open your camera. Patingin ako ng mga mukha ninyo, ng mga nakahiga. All right. So in a count of 3, bigyan niyo ako ng best smile ninyo para makita ko yung mga itsura ninyo pag nag-record ako ng attendance. Okay? So 1, 2, 3. Okay. So thank you for coming and mag-ingat palagi. We'll see each other again next week ba? Correct? Tama ba? Hindi ko pa
Yes,
kabisado
Doc.
yung schedule.
Yes po, Doc.
Okay. Sige. So you may now leave our conference meeting and thank you for coming. May you have your breakfast na.